Well, hello, guys. It's DannyDealz. Thank you for tuning in to Un Poco Mas, the show where we give you just a little bit more. The show is produced today, as always, by executive producer and my BFF, Hurricane Lopez. Today, we want to give you an update on Tenax Therapeutics, ticker symbol TENX. This was a very 10x day, extremely uneventful, seemingly stock traded in a range of only 3 cents, which is very, very tight for the stock, and the volume is tightening up as well. So we traded 49 cents to 52 cents and only 917,000 shares. Been trading more shares than that almost every single day. So if you look back at the 30-day chart, we had 900,000, 1.4 million the day before that, 1.6, 2.665. And so the volume is being sucked out of the stock. And in the past, when you see that, you get ready to trade in this just sideways consolidation pattern. I don't know if it's consolidation. To me, it's just churn, accumulate, or dump very slowly while bleeding money from retail investors. But today was a very, very 10x day. Big sell off right at the beginning to drop the stock back below 50 cents, stop people out, and then the stock just traded on these very controlled computer trading ranges of half a cent to 1 cent. Earlier in the day, between 10:30 and oh 1:30, the 50 cent area was support. Stock made a little move up and then, of course, right back down again. Stop people out below 50 cents again, and then the stock just kind of traded sideways where the 50-cent line became the resistance for the most part. All the way to close, ended up closing right there at 50 cents and has basically stayed steady after hours. Now, what's going on with 10x? What can we expect? Um, Anything coming up? Again, it's just been complete radio silence from management. So we have nothing to go on. I know they can't really talk about discussions involving selling the company, but there are certain things they can say. I mean, I'm hoping, and again, we don't even really know when earnings are. At least I haven't seen the company put out a definitive press release or PR on that topic. Yahoo Finance has it listed as 28th through the 31st. And then a couple other sources I've seen had listed April 3rd. Um, and so basically, they're just going by history, and earnings should be probably within the next week. What are we going to learn from earnings? Basically, nothing from the numbers. Hopefully, they've slowed the burn rate. They have a little bit of cash, probably 8, 10 million bucks left after they've paid some bills. And we are going to hopefully, what we want to hear are some of those fancy forward looking statements where management tells us what the plan is, tells us what's going to happen. There's only two things that I see happening with this company. Number one, we start phase three enrollment for one of the trials, which I would do the Levo trial. I think it has a lot more potential. Um, I think it is much more safe, and I think that the market is larger, so that's what makes sense to me. Obviously, with cash on hand, we're not even going to be able to come close to completing a phase three trial, but there's no reason management cannot plan for and announce an enrollment start date, at least a date, even if it requires more funding or partnership down the road. At least put your intentions out there. Give us some kind of a roadmap within the constraints, of course, of legalities and proprieties. You don't want to run afoul of the SEC, of course, but you have to give shareholders. So basically, since Roth, they announced the strategic alternative many, many months ago, gave us absolutely nothing on that. What happened? What what happened with the strategic alternative turned out to be twiddle your thumbs for months, then take a dump in your pants and give us this horrible offering and dilution that was just basically giving away the store. Now I know they didn't have any choice. It's like if the company can't be taken private for any number of reasons, lack of confidence, lack of money, insiders just aren't equipped, ill equipped, man. But you know, if you're not gonna, you basically have two things you can do here. You can start the phase three and fund somehow. Um, Another offering is obviously not really going to be possible here at this market cap, as shorts have taken care of that. Um, or you go back and you have to make a partnership happen. You have to bring someone else on board who has the wherewithal, the resources to actually get this drug into the phase three trial, get it through the phase three trial. Clinical trials are booming right now. But I need to stress less than half, only 46% of phase three studies from the past 5 years report having met enrollment requirements. So most phase three trials never even get off the ground. That's why, there's no time like the present to actually start enrollment. This is what the folks who work at TENX do. We have enough funding, I believe, to get the ball rolling, at least make it look like we're getting the ball rolling, so we can get a little sizzle around this cold piece of meat that is Tenax Therapeutics, and perhaps we can get somebody looking at the actual opportunity that these drugs present. Again, average length of a clinical trial, a little bit over 3 years. Tenax has patent protection on levosimendan. I always say that wrong. Um, and they're going to have that patent protection till 2040, and they haven't even got the oral formulation patent yet, which they will. And so if the clinical trial goes 2024 through say 2026, maybe 2027, if you could start selling this drug by 2028, you're going to have patent protection for 12, 13 or more years. And the revenues would be in the hundreds of millions at least per year, if not into the billions. So it really seems like from a risk reward standpoint, it is very much worth trying to do this phase three. Remember that in terms of this specific type of pulmonary hypertension with heart failure with preserved ejection fraction, um, this drug is the only drug that improved exercise capacity has ever been shown to improve exercise capacity in the 6 minute walk test. Um, the 6 minute walk distance improved further as patients transitioned to the oral formula after a lengthy treatment with the IV regimen. The FDA has confirmed to Tenax Therapeutics that the 6 minute walk distance endpoint is acceptable for a phase three registration program. So the FDA has agreed that this endpoint is valid and it is the basis for the phase three trial. They're basically saying if you can improve the exercise capacity and you can show that this thing works, it's already been shown that it's safe, and we have every indication that this is actually going to work. Dr. Stuart Rich, Chief Medical Officer of TenX Therapeutics, explained Levosimendan is a unique agent. It is the only potential therapy that combines KATP channel activation and CA++ sensitization. I have no idea what those things mean. Um, Two mechanisms of action shown to improve symptoms and exercise tolerance in patients with PHHFPEF, such as Levosimendan, is distinct from any other therapy tested in these patients. You know, I'm not saying there's no sure thing with phase three. They're very difficult, they're costly, they take a long time, there are often setbacks, but we're sitting right now at a market cap under $5 million. Now, The share count is a little bit ambiguous because you don't know how many of those prepaid warrants are hanging out there from the offering. There hasn't been exact transparency on that. I think we will get a much better idea once the earnings report comes out. We'll see the books and we'll be able to see where some of that stuff is sitting on the old balance sheet at Tenax Thera. But for right now, basically, we are sitting at all time lows. We've basically been consolidating sideways and slightly down for the last month. The stock keeps dipping under 50 cents, stopping out retail, allowing the hedge fund to accumulate those shares cheaper and just making endless profits as retail comes in on FOMO and goes out on the dumps. So you have fear of missing out, and then you have panic selling, the two emotions or the two actions that hedge funds exploit to make money off of retail investors in these very volatile penny stocks. Again, I don't think it makes sense to set obvious stop losses here because you're just putting a sign on that says, hedge funds, take my money, please. Um, and they're happy to do it. So let's not tie one hand behind your back. Let's put on a stop loss that makes sense. We know the stock's going to be taken down under 50 cents. So if you're going to buy it, if you want to see what happens here, it doesn't really make sense to get stopped out and lose your money so quickly. In any case, it's 10x. Their ticker symbol is TENX. We're having some conflicting information on the short interest. I'm seeing different sources I check, and I know things are not updated to affect the reverse, to reflect the reverse split, to reflect the offering. Sometimes it's mismatched. So some sources are saying that short interest is over 25%. Some are saying it's 5%. And then on the dark pool, there's a ton more shorting going on. Um, so I believe short interest on this one is a lot higher than people are making it out to be. Otherwise, I can't see, you know, retail just dumping down here this many shares. There's really no institutions left in the stock. Insiders aren't going to be dumping down here. So it has to be that short churn scenario that we see with these penny stocks once they're, they get in trouble, they need financing, they get into this. Reverse split, offering, death spiral, and the long short hedge funds come in, they make money on the way down, and then they try to flip and make money on the way up. So we just have to, as a 10x investor, rather than try to fight them and constantly be buying and selling shares like a squirrel on crack, try to accumulate and wait for news if you think there's substance to this company. If you don't think there's any substance and you're just trying to trade this thing, I can't help you. I believe that is a fool's errand, but I certainly hope you make money doing that. I'm not hating on anybody making money. Don't hate shorts. It is what it is. If there's no merit to the company and the company's never going to make any money or get anything done and management can't do their job, then they deserve to be shorted and torn down and tossed asunder and cast into the sea, the pits and the fiery pits of hell, whatever. But no, seriously, folks, I believe this company does have good potential with these drugs. They just have to get on the right track and get a partner or into the announcement of enrollment in a phase 3. I think once we get a phase 3 rolling, funding will come because there is potential here. But again, it's March 28, 2023. It's 2:45 p.m. out here in Los Angeles. That's 5:45 p.m. out in NYC. I hope it's a great day or night wherever you are. I hope you made some money today. I certainly didn't. DannyDealz has been taking it on the old chin lately, but I'm trying to keep my head up. That's the nature of penny stocks. Remember, don't put a bunch of your portfolio into these penny stocks. If you want to play them, if you want to pick some stocks you think are going to do well, you think could be home runs for you, wonderful. Just do it in a way that makes sense. Don't risk money you can't afford to lose because with penny stocks, you have the potential to lose most or all of your money and very, very quickly. So make these penny stocks a small part of your portfolio and do your research. Please do not just buy things you hear about online or you hear about on YouTube. Actually research the company, research management, research their product. where they are. Think about your risk tolerance, your time horizon, do your own research, and decide for yourself. My name is DannyDealz. For executive producer Hurricane Lopez, I want to thank you for watching Un Poco Mas. I hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great tomorrow, great week, and happy investing.